Ina waka, ina mana, ina hoe wha, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Namaste. It is an absolute privilege to be here this evening with all of you, and I do want to just dedicate just a couple of moments, if I may, to acknowledge just some of the many distinguished guests in the room tonight. Your Excellency High Commissioner Pardeshi, it is a delight for us, after you having only arrived 10 days ago, for us to be able to welcome you in this way. I hope you appreciate that we've organised some of the most distinguished members of the Kiwi Indian community here for you tonight to prove that we have the best Indian expat community in the world right here in New Zealand. So that's just for you, just for you. Your Worship, the Mayor of Auckland, the Honourable Phil Goff, a delight always to see you and to see you here tonight, especially as the ex-MP of the most diverse ethnic community in New Zealand, Mount Roskill, now held by Michael Wood, who's sitting next to you. I also acknowledge Deborah Russell, the Honourable David Parker, the Honourable Phil Twyford, the Honourable Andrew Little, the Honourable Grant Robertson, the Honourable Carmel Sepuloni. I'll be holding a cabinet meeting with all of you after this, given that you've all decided to attend tonight. In fact, that roll call might be somewhat better attendance than at some of my cabinet meetings. I also acknowledge the Leader of the Opposition, the Honourable Simon Bridges, Sir Anand and Sir Tim Shadbolt. So kind of you to dedicate your whole speech to me. Thank you. I won't do the same because we don't have the time, but the Managing Director of the Indian Weekender and Honorary Consul of India in Auckland, Mr. Bhav Dillon, thank you for the work that you do on behalf of the community and the work that you do on behalf of New Zealand. It is always a delight for me to be able to be here for two reasons. This event enables me to really reaffirm the strength of the relationship between New Zealand and India, which is obviously bridged so well by our Kiwi Indian community. And of course, we have common heritage from which to build. We're members of the Commonwealth, joint commitment to democracy. Yours is somewhat larger than ours, but a joint commitment to democracy, the rule of law, and of course a joint love and grief over the game of cricket, which is a new commonality that we have. It's probably too soon for both of us to talk about it. In fact, our historical ties, of course, stretch back as a country to the late 1800s. And perhaps given that length of history, it's no surprise, but perhaps a little known fact, that Hindi is the fourth most commonly spoken language in New Zealand, the third most spoken here in Auckland. We are home to a vibrant community of New Zealanders of Indian descent whose contribution to New Zealand society is not only valued and appreciated, it makes us a lucky country. And over recent times, I've had more cause than ever to think about the impact and the benefit of that diversity in New Zealand. And that within the diversity of those cultures and ethnicities that call New Zealand home actually sit a common set of values of kindness, of compassion, of a practical, focused work ethic. And those common values are what builds the foundation for this country that we are all so lucky to call home. Which brings me to the second reason I love these awards, and that is the celebration of those common values and of that theme of excellence. And nothing distills that better for me than the young people I have seen who are continually honoured here on this stage. And a great example was Muskan Devta, who was awarded the Young Kiwi Indian of the Year last year. And some of you may remember, she's a young woman who overcame medical conditions and complications to embrace the gift of life. She dedicated herself to writing, radio shows, public speaking and events. She's an ambassador and demonstrates that we have a generation now of Kiwi Indians who are leaders of today and tomorrow. And what speaks more to the strength of a relationship, the strength of a community and the strength of a country than the young people who exist within it? Thank you so much again for giving me the opportunity to join you all, recommit to our friendship, our connection, our community, and celebrate excellence alongside each and every one of you. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa.